Before continuing to Season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen, let's go to Movie 0 to have more understanding about what happened in Season 1 and what will happen in Season 2. On a drizzly afternoon, with the sun hidden and the streetlights already on, a high school student named Yuta Okkotsu, the protagonist of this story, is being bullied in a classroom. As the bullies prepare to beat him up, Yuta pleads, "Stop." Not to them, but to a white cursed spirit that is about to attack them. The bullies are then violently stuffed into a locker by the cursed spirit, sustaining serious injuries. Yuta is left sitting dejectedly, filled with guilt and repeatedly murmuring apologies. At the Jujutsu High Council, the elders discuss the incident. Fearing that many more people will be harmed by Yuta's curse, they sentence him to a secret execution, entrusting the task to Satoru Gojo. Gojo notes that Yuta managed to overpower 3 Grade 2 sorcerers and 1 Grade 1 sorcerer, which is why the task fell to him. However, Gojo believes it would be a waste to execute someone so powerful. He proposes to the council that Yuta be transferred to Jujutsu High, where he can learn to control his power and use it for good. Later, Gojo visits Yuta in a sealed room. He knows Yuta has attempted suicide multiple times, only to be stopped by the white cursed spirit, which even bent the knife he tried to use on himself. Gojo suggests Yuta enroll in Jujutsu High, but Yuta flatly refuses, afraid he will only continue to harm people if he goes outside. Gojo offers some advice to change his mind, telling him that being alone is lonely, and that his power, if used correctly, could save many people. He encourages Yuta not to waste his abilities, but to learn to control them. At Jujutsu High, Gojo enthusiastically introduces the new student to the current first years. However, they show no reaction. Maki Zen'in says she's heard the new student is extremely negative and isn't happy about welcoming him. The other 2 students, Toge Inumaki and Panda, seem to share her sentiment. Outside, Yuta is nervous, sensing the cold atmosphere inside. As he slowly enters the classroom, his every step makes the other students flinch. They can feel the immense, overwhelming pressure emanating from the cursed spirit attached to him. They immediately prepare to attack, telling him that this is a place to learn about curses, not for someone who is cursed to be. Gojo explains to Yuta that in Japan, an average of 10,000 people die or go missing from unknown causes each year, most of which are caused by curses. These beings are formed from the negative emotions of humans or from the malevolent acts of curse users. Tokyo Jujutsu High is a place where they learn about curses in order to exorcise them. Hearing this, Yuta is stunned, as this is the first he's heard of it. The other students are equally surprised that Gojo is only just now telling him. Suddenly, the white cursed spirit appears from behind Yuta, causing the others to back away cautiously. To understand this cursed spirit, we must go back 6 years. In a park, a young Yuta is given a ring by his childhood friend, Rika Orimoto, for his birthday. Rika tells him it's an engagement ring and makes him promise that they will get married when they grow up. But tragically, that future would never come. Rika is killed in a car accident right before Yuta's eyes. From that moment on, Yuta has been cursed by Rika. The white cursed spirit is Rika, now a special grade cursed spirit. After explaining the situation, Gojo warns the students not to attack Yuta, or they will be brutally beaten by Rika. He then introduces Yuta to his rebellious classmates. The girl with glasses is Maki Zen'in, a cursed tool user. The young man covering his mouth is Toge Inumaki, a cursed speech user whose vocabulary is limited to onigiri ingredients to avoid accidentally cursing people. And finally, Panda. Yuta's face turns pale as he realizes the one he most wanted to know about, Panda, received no further explanation. With Yuta joining, the first year now has 4 students. For an afternoon practical lesson, Gojo splits them into 2 teams, Panda with Toge and Maki with Yuta. Maki is clearly annoyed at being paired with Yuta. Knowing he was bullied before, she tells him she'll be bullying him from now on, finding his good guy act nauseating. She questions why he acts like a victim when he's protected by a powerful curse. She warns him that if he continues to be passive with no clear goal, he won't survive at Jujutsu High. Her harsh words prompt Panda and Toge to intervene. Gojo takes Maki and Yuta to an elementary school where 2 children have mysteriously disappeared, likely due to a curse. Maki explains that places like schools and hospitals are breeding grounds for negative emotions that eventually form curses. Their mission is to exorcise the curse and rescue the children, or at least retrieve their bodies. Gojo then casts a veil, a barrier that conceals their activities from the outside world and lures out curses. He leaves, telling them not to die. As Yuta stands nervously, Maki is already engaging 3 curses that have appeared. She tells him that weaker curses tend to travel in packs, and with a single strike, she exorcises all 3. They head inside the school. While Maki walks with confidence, Yuta is timid and scared. Maki notes that despite the veil, not many curses are appearing, and suspects it's because of Yuta's presence. Annoyed by his fear, she asks what his rank is. When he doesn't know, she checks his student ID and is shocked to see he is designated as a special grade, a rank even higher than grade 1. Suddenly, a massive curse appears behind Maki. It tears through the school, throwing both of them into the air. Maki tries to fight it with her cursed tool, but both she and Yuta are swallowed. Her weapon is dropped outside. Inside the curse, she's furious about losing her tool, but even more so that Rika didn't appear to protect Yuta. Even Yuta himself doesn't know when Rika will show up. Maki berates him for being useless. Suddenly, they hear cries for help and find the 2 missing children are also trapped inside. Yuta is relieved they're alive, but quickly despairs, seeing no way out. The children are weakening. Their only hope is to wait for the veil to be lifted, but by then, they might all be dead. Suddenly, Maki stumbles, her leg afflicted by a curse from when she grazed the monster's teeth as they were swallowed. Seeing Maki cursed and the children crying out for help, Yuta feels utterly helpless. Maki angrily grabs him and demands to know why he came to Jujutsu High. He replies that he doesn't want to hurt anyone anymore. He admits that when Gojo told him he'd be lonely by himself, he couldn't answer, but now he knows. He wants someone to need him. And more than anything, he wants to feel confident that he deserves to live. Hearing this, Maki tells him to exorcise the curses. Exercise, and keep exercising. Do that, and you'll gain confidence and find friends. Jujutsu High is that kind of place. Her words seem to enlighten Yuta. He puts on the ring Rika gave him and asks her to lend him her power. Rika immediately appears, tears through the giant curse, and pummels it into oblivion. Gojo, sensing the full power of the special grade cursed spirit Rika in her complete form, is immensely pleased. In the end, Yuta safely rescues everyone and brings them to Gojo. At the hospital, Yuta reveals to Gojo that this was the first time he had ever voluntarily called upon Rika. He recalls his past with her, the time they spent playing together. He then tells Gojo that maybe Rika didn't curse him. Maybe he was the one who cursed her. Gojo, in his personal opinion, says that love is the most twisted curse of all. With a look of determination, Yuta declares that at Jujutsu High, he will definitely break Rika's curse. Back at the school where Yuta fought, an unknown figure picks up the student ID card that Yuta had dropped. Meanwhile, at the Jujutsu High Council, Gojo is severely reprimanded. They had entrusted Yuta to him to prevent Rika from fully manifesting, yet it took only 422 seconds for it to happen. Gojo doesn't try to make excuses but points out the perplexing nature of Rika's case. A girl with no ties to a sorcerer lineage becoming such a powerful cursed spirit. He argues that they cannot control what they don't understand, and that for now, they should let things be. If something terrible happens, he will personally stop Rika. As he leaves, the council reminds him that Yuta's death sentence is only suspended. He retorts that if it comes to that, they shouldn't forget that he is on Yuta's side. Gojo takes Yuta to the cursed tool storeroom. He explains that exorcising a curse as powerful as Rika is nearly impossible, but dispelling it is another matter. He gives Yuta a katana, explaining that a curse is most stable when it's bound to something. Yuta has been using the ring to connect with Rika, and now, by channeling Rika's curse into the katana and learning to control it, he might one day be able to fully control the curse and set them both free. But first, he tells Yuta, he needs to train his weak body. Yuta begins training with Maki. They fight seriously, and despite his best efforts, Maki easily overpowers him. Driven by his desire to become strong enough to break Rika's curse, Yuta eagerly asks for another round. Seeing this positive change in him, his classmates are pleased. Panda notes that even Maki seems happier than usual. Later, Gojo assigns a mission to Toge. As a grade 2 sorcerer, he can handle missions alone, but Gojo asks Yuta to accompany him to provide support and learn about Toge's cursed speech. He warns Yuta to try not to let Rika out, unless he can control her through the katana. Their mission takes place in a shopping district slated for demolition, where several low-level curses have appeared. The supervisor, Ijichi, is briefing them when Toge disappears, only to return with a bottle of throat medicine. After Ijichi puts up a veil, they head inside. They find a large swarm of fish-like curses gathered in one spot. Remembering Maki's words about weak curses, Toge calmly pulls down his collar, approaches the swarm, and says, "Explode." The curses are all instantly obliterated. After he speaks, his voice is hoarse, and Yuta realizes why he bought the throat medicine. Thinking the mission is over, they head back, but the veil doesn't lift. A powerful curse appears behind them. Toge pushes Yuta out of the way and uses his cursed speech, but this curse is much stronger, and Toge is injured without being able to defeat it. Yuta is forced to carry Toge and flee, dropping the medicine in the process. He realizes this curse, while not as large as the one at the school, is far stronger and more menacing. It waits for them right in front of the veil, not pursuing them even after Toge had twisted its arm. Yuta feels guilty that Toge was injured, saving him. With their phones not working inside the veil, the only way out is to exorcise the curse. Toge, though nearly exhausted, prepares to go back and fight. For the first time, Yuta feels he understands Toge's difficult-to-understand words and the thoughts hidden behind his inability to communicate freely. He tells Toge he's fine and that they'll fight together. Wielding his katana, Yuta faces the curse. It reacts with hostility, not because of Yuta, but because it senses the danger of Rika. Yuta focuses on channeling the curse into his blade. The monster attacks with pillars of light, but Yuta dodges them all and gets behind it, wounding it with a slash. However, the curse quickly retaliates, and Yuta barely avoids a fatal blow. Realizing he can't win alone, he retrieves the throat medicine and throws it to Toge. After drinking the medicine, Toge says, "Get crushed," and the cursed spirit is flattened and destroyed. The two high-five in victory. Suddenly, a figure appears above them with another cursed spirit, furious that he missed seeing Rika. Meanwhile, Panda explains to Yuta that Toge and Yuta are quite similar. Toge was born with the ability to use cursed speech, which meant he also unintentionally cursed people, much like Yuta. That's likely why Toge took an interest in him from the beginning. Later, Maki finds Yuta training. He asks for tips on channeling cursed energy into his sword, but Maki tells him not to ask her anything about cursed energy. Supervisor Ijichi reports to the blindfolded teacher that someone has cast another veil on top of his, and has also released a Grade 1 cursed spirit. The teacher says he knows who did this. He saw the remnants at the scene. It was one of the 4 Special Grade Sorcerers, a man who was expelled from Jujutsu High for killing over 100 innocent people, and that man is Suguru Geto. The teacher and he were once best friends. Do you remember which cursed spirit was attached to Geto? It was the same cursed spirit that was once attached to Toji. After Toji died, the cursed spirit no longer had a master-servant bond with Toji, so Geto was able to absorb it. A mother brings her daughter to Geto because she thinks her daughter is possessed, but the daughter is very scared and keeps insisting on going home. But when she hears Geto correctly describe the symptoms she is experiencing, the girl no longer insists on leaving. So, Geto exorcises the curse that is attached to the girl. The girl immediately feels her shoulders become lighter. The mother and daughter are very happy and thank Geto profusely, seeing him as a living Buddha. But after they leave, Geto reveals his true nature, thinking that they are just a bunch of stupid monkeys who don't know how to use jujutsu. Then, Geto and his secretary go to a meeting. This secretary's name is Manami Suda. While the two are walking, they also take a few pictures. Suddenly, a bald old man rushes over and curses Geto. The old man thinks that since he has already given Geto money, Geto must quickly exorcise the curse for him, but the secretary says that for the past 6 months, she hasn't seen the old man give any money. Geto says there are 2 types of monkeys in the world. The first type is for extorting money. The second type is for exorcising curses, and the old man is the first type. But once he has no more money, he is just a useless person. Then, the old man is sucked dry by Geto's cursed spirits and vaporized. Finally, Geto arrives at the meeting place. He says it's time to start the plan to end the era of the monkeys and create a new era for Jujutsu Sorcerers. And the first step is to overthrow the Jujutsu school. Yuta feels that something terrible is about to happen, but the others leave, thinking that he is just good at imagining things. But it turns out Yuta's feeling was completely right. A giant cursed spirit bird lands on the Jujutsu school, along with Geto. Inside the bird's mouth are his followers. When they see Geto approaching Yuta so quickly, the whole group turns pale. He tempts Yuta with all sorts of things, saying that Yuta has great power and should use it for a greater purpose. He asks him to join him in annihilating all non-sorcerers to create a world where only sorcerers exist. This makes the whole group turn pale again. The blindfolded teacher has arrived and warns Geto not to poison his student. After that, the other teachers also arrive. Geto says that the first-year students under the blindfolded teacher's charge this year are very outstanding. A cursed special grade sorcerer, a descendant of a cursed speech user, a mutated cursed corpse, and a failure from the Zen'in clan. He says his world doesn't need a monkey like Maki. Hearing his friend being insulted, Yuta becomes furious. He then announces to everyone that he has come here to declare war. At dusk on December 24th, he will carry out the night parade of 100 demons. The locations will be in 3 areas: Shinjuku, Tokyo, and Kyoto. In each place, he will release 1,000 cursed spirits and order them to massacre the people. If they don't want that to happen, they should do their best to stop it. After saying that, he leaves. The blindfolded teacher sees that his friend has fallen, which makes him very sad. He remembers Geto's former ideal that Jujutsu sorcerers must protect non-sorcerers, but then he fell and went against his former ideals. The Jujutsu school side discusses strategy for the upcoming event and requests the summoning of Jujutsu sorcerers from all over to fight together because the number of cursed spirits that Geto will release is enormous. On Geto's side, they are also discussing strategy. He says if both sides fight seriously, their chances of winning are very low. But to increase the chances of winning to 99%, there is only one way: kill Yuta and steal the curse, Rika. Because Geto's technique is cursed spirit manipulation, which has the ability to absorb and control the curses he has exercised. He also says that the Jujutsu school will not bring Yuta to the battlefield when they have a sure win, because if used improperly, both friend and foe will be killed. So the purpose of this mission is to isolate Yuta. Maki comes to see Yuta. She reveals that Toge and Panda and the others have already gone to fight. She also explains the reason why she is called a failure to Yuta. She says her Zen'in clan is one of the 3 outstanding clans in the Jujutsu world, and the minimum requirement to be a Jujutsu sorcerer is to be able to see curses. But she has to wear these glasses to be able to see. As for her cursed tools, they have been imbued with cursed energy in advance. She cannot do it herself. That's why she previously told Yuta not to ask her anything about cursed energy. Also because she comes from a powerful clan in the Jujutsu world. A person with nothing like her is looked down upon by them. And for that reason, she left the clan, so she doesn't want to be called by her family name. She says once she becomes a grade 1 Jujutsu sorcerer, she will return home and wreak havoc on the clan, making them cry because of her, because she is an extremely evil person. Hearing Maki's words makes Yuta want to become a person like her, living a strong and straightforward life. Geto has now arrived at the Jujutsu school and has cast a veil around the school. Here, he clashes with Maki. The blindfolded teacher is on the battlefield and starts to wonder where Geto is. Why hasn't the supervisor come to report to him about Yuta's case, which he asked him to investigate before? After hearing that, he immediately grabs Toge and Panda and brings them back to the school because he thinks Geto is there, and there is a high probability that Maki and Yuta will be in danger. As for him, he will stay and deal with the foreigner, whom he considers very troublesome. After dealing with him, he will immediately return. Toge and Panda arrive and see Geto's veil and decide to break through it. As for Maki, she is no match for Geto, so she is beaten to a pulp by him. Panda has broken the veil and appears extremely cool. Then, Panda attacks Geto relentlessly. Panda is very agile and decides to go all out with Geto, continuously attacking with great ferocity and strength. But Geto doesn't seem to have any difficulty fighting Panda. Then, he throws his cursed tool through Panda, but Toge has appeared and taken the hit. The group thought Geto was dead, so they went to Maki's side. But Geto was not dead at all, and he still didn't have a single scratch on him. So, the whole group was beaten by him. Witnessing his friends being beaten, Yuta became very angry and summons the cursed spirit Rika. And this is the second time that Rika has appeared in her complete state, and it is also the first time that Yuta has wanted to take someone's life so badly. Then, he blows away each of Geto's cursed spirits and brings his friends to a safe place. Then, he heals them with the reverse cursed technique. This is a high-level technique that very few Jujutsu sorcerers can use, but Yuta uses it very easily. Seeing Yuta healing Maki makes Rika very angry. Then, she takes Maki away because she thinks Yuta is always so kind to Maki. It's really too unfair to her. Yuta immediately stops Rika, saying that she is his benefactor and he needs Rika to be nice to her too. Noticing Yuta's anger, Rika apologizes to him profusely. Then, Yuta says our enemy is that guy, and he hates him very much. So Rika says she hates him too. Then, Rika gives Yuta a megaphone with the Inumaki clan's seal. Yuta says, "Die." And the whole group of Geto's curses is turned to dust. This makes Geto extremely surprised because Yuta can use cursed speech when he has only been studying Jujutsu for less than a year. After using it, Yuta thinks cursed speech is very difficult to use, so he feels that Toge is very amazing. Meanwhile, the night parade of 100 demons has taken place. Jujutsu sorcerers and the curses are fighting fiercely. Mei is very cool. With just a few slashes, 50 curses are completely destroyed. As for Supervisor Ijichi, he clashes with 2 female students. These 2 girls love to hang people. The supervisor also uses reason to try to get these 2 girls to turn over a new leaf, thinking that they are just kids, so it's still very early to turn back. But it seems that the supervisor's words are just like the wind blowing by, and the 2 girls even want to hang him. Let me introduce to you, the girl on the left is named Mimiko, and the girl on the right is Nanako. You probably recognize that these 2 girls are also the 2 girls that Geto saved in the past, so the 2 girls respect Geto very much. Whatever Geto says, the 2 girls obey him without question. They are about to hang the supervisor when there is a tremor behind the 2 girls, and that is the battle between the blindfolded teacher and the foreigner. The foreigner's name is Miguel. He uses a very special rope woven with rare cursed energy that can disrupt the teacher's technique. As for the teacher, he has revealed one eye. Then, he blows away the annoying curse next to him, which makes the foreigner start to worry and analyze the teacher's abilities. He says the teacher can interfere with matter at the atomic level to manipulate space, and what helps him do that is thanks to that eye, so he thinks it will be very difficult for him to hold out for 12 minutes. That is the time limit for the mission to be completed. Then, he whips the teacher with a whip, but he is punched by the teacher without missing a single hit, which makes him scared and run away. The teacher chases after him and continues to grab his head and beat him up some more, which makes him extremely miserable and feel insecure, because it has only been 2 minutes, which means he still has to fight the teacher for another 10 minutes. If by any chance he dies, he promises to haunt Geto. Many Jujutsu sorcerers were seriously injured and taken to the treatment center, which made Shoko blame Geto for the terrible consequences. Yuta and Geto are now preparing for a fight. Geto takes out the special grade curse tool, Playful Cloud, while Yuta uses his sword and is supported by Rika. Then, the 2 sides rush in and attack relentlessly. The sword and Playful Cloud constantly clash with each other. Neither side is willing to give in, because if you give in a fight, you will definitely be beaten to the ground. Geto takes advantage of the situation and summons a cursed spirit to bind Yuta. But thanks to Rika's support, Yuta is able to break free and slash it away. Continuing to take advantage of the opportunity, Geto adds another blow, knocking Yuta out. Then, he goes on a non-stop rant about his crazy ideals. Too angry because this guy keeps talking nonsense, Yuta uses cursed energy to increase his speed and rushes straight at Geto. He also channels a huge amount of cursed energy into his sword and slashes him, but the sword can't stand it and shatters. It seems like Yuta is at a complete disadvantage. But when he launches an attack containing cursed energy and collides with a physical attack with a margin of error of about 1 in a millionth of a second, a distortion in space will be formed. And that phenomenon is called Black Flash. His Black Flash punch sends Geto tumbling and lying on the ground. Yuta says he doesn't know how Jujutsu sorcerers outside the Jujutsu school live. He also doesn't know if Geto's ideals are right or wrong, but to continue to be friends with everyone and to think that he deserves to live, he must take his life. Geto says if that's the case, he will also use all his strength to take Yuta's life. He says there are currently only 4 people ranked as special grade, and there are 16 special grade curses. Then, he summons one of them, and this one is called Tamamo no Mei Incarnate. He will use all 4,461 curses he has and combine them into one to beat him up with his ultimate technique, Maximum, Uzumaki. On the battlefield, some Jujutsu sorcerers are in trouble. Some have already died. But don't worry. Grade 1 Jujutsu sorcerer Kento Nanami has appeared. He rushes straight at the curse and slashes it with his superior skills. He has used Black Flash 4 times in a row, and the curse is beaten to a pulp by him. On the Kyoto side, the first and second year students of the Kyoto school also go into battle. Each student shows off their amazing abilities. The most special one is Aoi Todo, who stands before the monster that everyone fears, but he is still very cool and rushes in alone. Back to the battle of the 2 special grades, Yuta says to Rika that he thanks her for always being by his side and loving him. Now he wants to borrow her strength for the last time. He wants to stop Geto. He doesn't care what happens after that. Now, he is willing to give everything to her. From his future, his heart, and even this body. He says he loves her and is ready to die with her. The vow and the engagement ring, along with the final element, which is a kiss, Rika is immersed in that human-like emotion. Then, she releases everything she has, constantly screaming that she also loves Yuta very much. Geto realizes that he has sacrificed himself to break the limit of his cursed energy. Seeing that he has decided to go all out, he also has to go all out with him. Yuta says this is true love. Geto immediately replies, "If so, then I will be the representative of justice." The techniques of both collide with each other, creating a huge explosion that also devastates the entire school. After the earthquake, Geto has lost his right arm and is staggering to escape, with the thought that the next time he meets him, he will definitely get Rika. Once he has Rika, the other curses will no longer be necessary. But unfortunately, that next time will never happen because the blindfolded teacher is here. However, the teacher is no longer blindfolded at this time. He announces that his followers have been defeated and have all fled. He says the teacher deliberately brought his 2 students here to torture him, so Yuta became so angry and strong. The teacher says he trusts Geto because he knows Geto's ideals will not harm young sorcerers without reason. This makes him reminisce about his past with the teacher, and he can't believe the teacher still trusts him. Then, he gives Yuta's student ID card to the teacher, which makes the teacher think that the incident at the school was also his doing. The teacher asks him if he has any last words. He says no matter what everyone says, he will always hate the monkeys, but he doesn't hate anyone at the Jujutsu school at all. It's just that in this world, he can't smile sincerely anymore. Then, the teacher approaches his old friend and says his final words to his old friend, which makes his old friend not expect that the teacher would still say that at this point. So, the teacher has exorcised the curse named Geto forever. Yuta wakes up after the battle. His friends are all gathered around him. Everyone is very grateful to him for saving them. Then, he walks towards Rika to fulfill his promise to go to the other world with her. Suddenly, Rika returns to her true form when she was little. Then, Gojo also suddenly appears and congratulates Yuta on successfully dispelling Rika's curse. The whole group almost doesn't recognize the teacher because he is not blindfolded. The teacher says that because he investigated Rika but found no suitable clues. A person with no background from a sorcerer lineage becoming a special grade vengeful spirit is really strange, so he thought that maybe the reason for Rika's strength was from Yuta. So, he investigated his background, and indeed, as he thought, Yuta is a descendant of one of the 3 great curses of Japan, Sugawara no Michizane, a very formidable Jujutsu sorcerer. And his previous theory that he was the one who cursed Rika, not Rika who cursed him, was completely correct. At that time, he had rejected her death, so it turned out like this. The teacher says the one who cursed has broken the master-servant contract. If the one who was cursed doesn't want to punish the other party, the dispelling of the curse will be complete. And looking at Rika, the teacher thinks he already has the answer. This makes him cry a lot. He thinks that because of him, Rika became that form. And because Geto was targeting him, everyone almost died. Rika comes and hugs him, and thanks him. She says the time she spent with him was happier than when she was alive. Then, she says goodbye to him and tells him to take care of himself. Rika's soul also gradually disappears. Sometime after the night parade of 100 demons, the blindfolded teacher now tells Yuta that Geto's attack was not his fault. If it weren't for him, Geto would have attacked anyway. Then, he gives him his student ID card. Yuta is surprised that the teacher found his card, but the teacher says it wasn't him who found it, but his one and only best friend.